What is up, everybody? Welcome to Truth and Transparency. Come on in. It is Sunday. We're going to start off the show.
Day and dinner that night. It's not in my DNA, so I came back. I already knew I was coming back. It wasn't like I was there and decided to come back. The cards were already lined out that I was coming back on the genealogy team. I'd been on the team for 3 years and we got the grant money. So when I retired, I knew I was transitioning to the granted position under a contract. But I was at home going, I don't know how do they do this? Genealogy team. I'd been on the team for 3 years and we got the grant money. So when I retired, I knew I was transitioning to the granted position under a contract. But I was at home going, I don't know how do they do this? Like they look for.
Listen, folks, I know there's a history here. I'd like to get this hearing in today. You know, everybody needs to just focus on the relevant facts, okay? I know there's a history here.
If you are here for the boom.
Team. I'd been on the team day and dinner that night. And I was home one day at 3:00, which is unusual. And I'm making my husband's lunch for his next work day, thinking what should be for dinner. I'm like, why the hell am I doing this? That is just not in my DNA. It is not. Most people they look forward to that. My husband can't retire. He still has 9 years of work. There's no point in going home trying to sort out what I should make him for lunch for the next day and dinner that night. It's not in my DNA, so I came back. I already knew I was coming back. It wasn't like I was there and decided to come back. The cards were already lined out that I was coming back on the genealogy team. I'd been on the team for 3 years and we got the grant money. So when I retired, I knew I was transitioning to the granted position under a contract. But I was at home.
Are you talking up by Sunset Mart? Up the hill by the gas station?
Yeah.
Okay. Why did you... Who's responsible here?
What's that?
Who's responsible here? Whose house is this?
Yeah, haven't been drinking or anything, right?
No.
Okay, drive careful, okay?
Will do, thank you.
This is what the other group had that ran away.
Oh, really? You just ditched it? Awesome.
Yeah, those ones kept walking in the car and the other one.
It's truly for the win.
Discs. Again, welcome to Truth and Transparency. Happy Sunday, everybody. We're going to start off with a bang, and that bang is Idaho4 boom. The Franks exhibit list is out. We're going to go on over to Hector here in a minute. We're going to talk about that. But the special grant contract, you guys know I've put it out there a bunch. The special grant contract and grand jury witness, none other than retired detective. She's done IA cases. She's done cold cases, kids cases, sexual assaults, homicides. I mean, you name it. Vicky Gooch, Detective Gooch, genealogist, detective, SNP, Idaho State Police Lab in Boise. She testified at the grand jury. Lana, how did you figure any of this out? Well, it just used my brain. So my question is, who worked on the SNP at the Boise lab? You know, how does somebody has to make, do the SNP? So it's going to be someone in the lab. And then what detective attempted then the IgG work, to make the family tree? And why would this person who attempted to do like the IgG work, the genealogist work, like a Vargas would do, why did this person testify at the grand jury if IgG wasn't a part of the case in terms of with Idaho State Police and Idaho State Police retired detective? Vicky's got an interesting story. Vicky did an interview in November of 2023. And here is a portion of Vicky's interview.
And I was home one day at 3:00, which is unusual. And I'm making my husband's lunch for his next work day, thinking what should be for dinner. I'm like, why the hell am I doing this? That is just not in my DNA. It is not. Most people, they don't look forward to that. My husband can't retire. He still has 9 years of work. There's no point in going home trying to sort out what I should make him for lunch for the next day and dinner that night. It's not in my DNA, so I came back. I already knew I was coming back. It wasn't like I was there and decided to come back.
Right there, she already said that I already knew I was coming back. So Detective Gooch got into law enforcement in the 80s. She was with the Idaho State Police when it formed, 98, but she did some work over in Wyoming and was it Jackson Hole? She did stuff in Nevada, Idaho. She comes from a military background with her father. But she's been with the Idaho State Police. And she's always wanted to work with this, why does somebody commit a crime, basically, the psyche, okay, which is really, really interesting because considering the Idaho4 case, like Brian, understanding his brain in this case. But so we all know that the grant money, 2021 was that grant money, and it was all arranged that the Idaho State Police lab in Boise was going to have, this big IgG portion to be able to do cold cases. And if you got approval from certain areas, that we could even do stuff that were current cases, but that we are going to do this, everything they did in this case, they said that they didn't do, but she was already contracted. So it was like she's leaving, but she's not. So it's like double dipping in a way. She's going to go collect her retirement money, right? But she's also going to be paid through the grants. And she said that she got contracted. And she began that work. So she retired in 2023. In 2020, she began her work. If you do the math, unless she's like getting something confused. But I think she isn't just away because the grant money wasn't available until 2021. I thought that that's when it was breaking out, July.
The cards were already lined out that I was coming back on the genealogy team. I've been on the team for 3 years and we got the grant money. So when I retired, I knew I was transitioning to the granted position under a contract.
The granted position under a contract. They have a genealogy team, and this is her. Now, remember, we've heard, so I'm going to transition here. So this is, I'm going to go like this. And let's bring in Hector. What's good, Hector? What you got for me? Oh, just a little bit of this and a little bit of that, Leanna. We got the Grammys tonight, somebody was saying. All right. So this was filed, and this is the notice of filing list of stipulated exhibits from motions to suppress and motion for Frank's hearing. So this was uploaded. All right, so, and then let me move a couple of these things. I don't want to put that there. And this is the motion for a Frank's hearing. This is the exhibits. You can learn a lot from exhibits. Now, I'm going to tell you something also about exhibits. In order to have an exhibit that you plan on presenting to the court, how are you going to be introducing this exhibit? Who are you going to introduce it through? You know, you're having a hearing. You just can't be throwing stuff up like, oh, you know. So there's going to be people that are going to need to be like testifying to the documents or whatever it is the exhibit is that you're presenting. So here, when we got this list, first of all, I got to give a shout out. Love a good Excel spreadsheet. So defendant's exhibit D1, email communications with a plural S there between Detective Payne, FBI agent Balance, and I want you to take a big old look here. I knew it. Okay. Layton County Prosecutor's Office was included in those emails. Like I've said from day one, the prosecutor's office, they were included in everything that was going on. There was no Bill Jennings over here misspoke, and the police had to put out a presser to say, oh, the Bill Jennings was confused when he said, you know, that November 28th, 29th, 30th, they had to come out then later on the night and say, oh, he was confused type of shit. He misspoke. And so they had to issue a new, you know, or another, I shouldn't say a new, they amended their press release. Okay. So it also answers a big question for me, which was, oh God, Ashley Jennings is over here. She knows more about everything that Payne and Mowry are saying I don't knows to, right? Ashley Jennings, she knows it all. Well, here, this is how. And when you want to talk about the IGG, it's part of the program that the Layton County Prosecutor's Office or who's ever the prosecutor with the jurisdiction, if you're going to be doing IGG, by the way, they make the call with then the lead detective investigator that's on the case. And so look, you got Balance, you got Payne, and you got like all of these email communications. Okay. Don't know what they are. I don't have those. Okay. Bill Jennings and Ashley Thompson. Well, I just think that, you know, Ashley's more wearing the pants in the relationship. So you got to give her the last name. So it's Bill Jennings. Until I start seeing Bill start throwing his dick on the table, it's Bill Jennings. Next up, for the Frank's hearing here, email with additional probable cause attachment from FBI agent Nicholas Balance to Brett Payne. So the email says that it's from Nick Balance, okay, to Brett Payne. Defendant's exhibit D1C is an email with working draft for search warrant for AT&T from, again, Brett Payne to FBI agent Nick Balance. Again, I'm just curious. So I'm giving you my interpretation. So I believe that those are exhibits for the sole purpose to show dates and timestamps. Not even so much what the material may be. But for this, it's to show dates and timestamps of, because remember, for a Frank's hearing, we're trying to show that they are lying, right? So nothing better than getting caught with emails, text messaging. So next up, defendant's exhibit D2. That's going to be exhibit A, statement of Dustin Blaker. Now, remember the Franks was close to us. We couldn't see that portion of it. And I've always had in the back of my mind where I'm saying like, hey, why is Dustin Blaker skating on all of this? You know, his name is a big name for one of the documents, AKA the probable cause affidavit that was used for everything with Washington that we know of. And, you know, so aren't you going to have to include him at some point? And here it is, boom. So was Dustin Blaker, in fact, there during the closed portion? Because here's his affidavit. And this was the one that was presented to the judge in Washington. Or did they just use it for a timestamp? Okay, so there's some options there. Let me zoom in. Make it even better. Okay. Then you get Defendant's Exhibit D3A, which is the affidavit for search warrant to Google. And this would be there was 3 of them, but this was the first one that had anything to do with Brian. And that was January 3rd, 2023 warrant. And I think that they wanted to show what affidavit was used. Okay, so I'm just saying to myself, I wonder which one they used to get this. Okay, what they had in it, because clearly they're showing something here. Here, I wanted to say that these emails from this whole balance crap, it's then, remember we had Mowry and Payne testify at the motion to compel on 5/23. So they provided those transcripts. So this was the one that was closed. This was the one that was open, or vice versa, rather. And then before we get to those, this is the affidavit in support of arrest. This is the big one that we've all seen, in my opinion, the affidavit in support of arrest. That's the one that we've all seen. That's the 19 pages that we've seen. That's been highly, spread it far and wide. So next up is, a little bit. And then we get into here, back to back, you're going to have the cast report. Now, this is the draft. I'll go ahead and throw out this date, and I'm going to put March 2023. And then there's the cast report, and it's not the draft anymore. Curious on that date. And then you're going to see back to back after that, you're going to see one of Ann Taylor's experts, affidavit there of Tom Slovinsky. He does a lot. It's already been kind of out there, people saying he had, worked with SLED. He has his own forensic cellular company, but he works with, same thing, prosecutors, defenders, all types of different cases, but he's just big in, he can do a lot of recovering of, deleted shit. But yeah, and then followed up by Cy Rays. Right there. Next, Defendant's Exhibit D8A is now, this is where it gets interesting. Officer Noonan's transcript and summary. Now, the only thing that I can think of that he would have ever had a transcript would be at the grand jury. Okay, and summary, which is, I believe, during the course of this investigation, before they got the grand jury notes or the transcripts, I believe that they were provided like the summaries, I want to say. I don't know why I remember something like that. But transcript, and then Detective Mowry's transcript and summary, and then Detective right there, Detective Gooch, transcript and summary. And that is how I put 1 + 1 = 2. I did a lot of research on detective. I said, who's Detective Gooch? Hoochie coochie, give me that Gucci. Who is this, right? Well, I will tell you that Detective Gooch
DNA genealogy team. So I don't believe in bringing emotion in. Oh, that upset me. Well, that has no relevance to getting to the answer of who did this to this person and giving closure to families. So I try not to allow how I feel to influence what I do. I could feel bad. We could feel bad all day long. We'd be at home right now doing origami. But I don't really want to do that. I came back for a reason. People think I came back for, I made a joke of this, okay, just recently. I am married. I've been married going on 29 years. I'm working a cold case DNA genealogy team on the sex crimes and the homicide. I really enjoy it. I want to get an answer. I want to answer the who all these years later that have eluded us. Even from the best of police work, we haven't gotten the answer, right? And I was home one day at 3:00, which is unusual. And I'm making my husband's lunch for his next work day, thinking what should be for dinner. I'm like, why the hell am I doing this?
I agree with
That
you.
is just not in my DNA. It is not. Most people, they look forward to that. My husband can't retire. He still has 9 years of work. There's no point in going home trying to sort out what I should make him for lunch for the next day and dinner that night. It's not in my DNA, so I came back. I already knew I was coming back. It wasn't like I was there and decided to come back. The cards were already lined out that I was coming back on the genealogy team. I've been on the team for 3 years and we got the grant money. So when I retired, I knew I was transitioning to the granted position under a contract. But I was at home going, I don't know how people.
So, Vicky began her law enforcement career in 1980 and worked for several different law enforcement agencies. Like many new officers, Vicky worked on patrol, handling calls ranging from traffic stops, vehicle accidents, and where passengers and drivers died due to burglary and domestic violence calls. In 1988, Vicky began working for what is now the Idaho State Police as a detective in the narcotics unit before finding her true calling, working major crimes such as child sexual assaults, rape, murder, fraud, basically, big cases. And then I saw internal investigations on there. Okay. Officer involved critical incidences, to name just a few. Vicky retired in 2023, but was recently rehired by Idaho State Police, where she currently works cold cases using genealogy and DNA to catch suspects that have thus far gone unpunished. And then clearly that isn't actually like correct there at the end. So I would like to correct this for Vicky, because she truly never left. It was like, yeah, she retired, but it was only a formality that, yeah, I have to retire right now because I want to retire but I'm retiring, but then I'm coming into the grant position with doing the cold cases and genealogy, which she had already been doing before she retired. Okay. So now, why would defendants exhibit D8C, Detective Gooch transcript and summary? Well, I personally believe that Detective Gooch was 100% involved in the Idaho4 genealogy, Idaho State Police portion of it, not the portion that's FBI obviously related. Okay. So that means if she was on the team that they have a team, and I know when I use the word team, my team and I are working on something. So I double checked with, not just, does one genealogist just work on a case? Can multiple people obviously work on a case? And the answer is yes. Okay. And so this genealogy team that they had, clearly you're not going to be bringing Detective Gooch from Boise and her transcripts and what she could possibly bring to this case, when you could see that she was, she retired in 2023, and was working it before then. Okay, it's a formality with retirement and I'm coming back type of thing. But they had already in 2022 is when the murders were. And so she was already on that team. And so I was like, here we go. She and her team did the genealogy. So I want to know more about if it was about protocol that she was called in for, but why would the state bring in her to testify? That's my, that's where my head is what was she used for from the state when they did their grand jury, right? And indicted Brian Culver. What did they use her for? Where, the transcripts and testimony here. Detective Mowry's transcript and testimony. Again, I believe that this is from the grand jury. These people could testify to hearsay. I know that I don't think Payne was qualified to testify to hearsay. So that's where and why stuff started happening with Mowry getting involved, because, hey, we're prepping you. You're going to be the person that's testifying at the grand jury, not Payne. Or Payne testified, but there's just certain things that he couldn't say because he's not qualified. Okay. Anyways, this is where this information comes from, where I connected some dots, did some digging, and found some interesting stuff on Vicky Gooch. And congratulations to Vicky Gooch on her retirement. And clearly, Vicky Gooch wasn't involved in any shenanigans, right? Because whatever Vicky Gooch and her team do, they weren't on that. We're going to violate people's rights, you know, because they were unsuccessful. But I'm curious from the standpoint of the state, what did you bring in? And I can only, to me, it's got to be the chain. It's got to be that she testified to, you know, that she couldn't come up with anything and we couldn't get anything. I mean, what do you think that she was testifying to at the grand jury? Don't know. But here it was very, very important to the defense that whatever she did testify to, it is helping the defense. And I think what it's showing and what it's going towards is that Detective Gooch, which maybe they made a mistake, the state did when they had her testify at the grand jury, but clearly whatever Detective Gooch testified to, it is being used by the defense. And it's not because like Gooch did anything. It's contradicting things. Okay. But just interesting. It's so next is the emails with vehicle identification expert. Emails. So not reports, but emails. And remember what Jay said. Jay said, hey, this guy did not feel comfortable ever labeling it a 2000. It was I'm most comfortable with a 2011, 2013. So that's what this is going to be about. Okay. But that's the year and what he was most comfortable with. And he got that from somewhere. Okay. When you're going to go ahead and say that the words that he was most comfortable with, Jay's just not saying that. Just like Andy Baldwin and Brad Rosie and they just weren't writing things in Franks and just saying like it was from the documents. It was from emails. It was from depositions, transcripts. Next up is affidavit in support of search warrant, UPS. So I went back and I don't know, is Miss Potts in here? I went back and pulled it out. And I want to point out a couple of things. So here they're using the affidavit though in support for the search warrant for UPS. And it's not, you're not using the return of it. We're using the affidavit in support of the search warrant. So all I wanted to see is I want to check out those dates again. So here are the dates. And I remember saying this and asking a couple officers like, hey, give me some reasons why you would need to amend something. And obviously we know like if you're trying to go get a search warrant and it's this or it's that, too broad, to this, to that, or you go and you find something and then because of your search and you found something, you saw something else, so you like want to go then amend it so you can then go and get that thing. But here I just want to point this out that this affidavit on 12/2/2022, I obtained an amended search warrant for UPS. So I think what's interesting is that whatever they were seeking to go and get from UPS, which it was being served at the location of 615 North Grand Ave, which is in Pullman. Now, mind you, they're not supposed to know about Brian Kohlberger at all yet, right? Okay. So I said, does the UPS, I know that some UPS places they'll serve stuff for Amazon on Sundays. Like there's people that will go, they were doing it here in our area. So I was wondering if they were doing it there in Washington. Anyways, want to point out some interesting dates though, is that they obtained an amended search warrant. So I'm curious on the search warrant that they tried to obtain, they had to amend it in some way. And then they served it on 12/5 by email. And just remind everybody that on 12/6/2022, I believe that the FBI fired off a subpoena for Amazon. So, and that was on 12/6/2022 for Brian. And so look at these lovely dates. But what they were interested in and what the defense is using here is the affidavit. So what was being said in that? And so I'm curious because this is really interesting. This is really, really interesting to me. These dates and the fact that it was amended. And what they were after, if anybody forgets, is they were after the delivery truck video. So, and so were they looking to see, because were they able to find out something in terms of, hey, let's see if we can get a search warrant to see if this guy ever got anything delivered to his house. And then we can go about it. Because remember, Moscow Police Department is not supposed to know about things that the FBI is doing. And for whatever reason, because they used IgG and blah, 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 and they violated and they used extra databases, right? And so here they were trying to get sneaky with how they could get to Brian Koberger without it ever being known that IgG was ever used, right? So I thought about it. What would be the value in this to be able to show this Franks and how like they were going about things? And this to me tells me that this is what it was for. It was for the fact that, and that's why it needed to be amended in some ways. But if I have a dash cam on a delivery truck and I'm driving up into the Step 2 apartments, I could then see, let's see if we can see if there's a white Elantra. Okay. So just think about that. They were clearly interested in the truck with this video that was on the truck could catch. Or whatever they put in, this is just all that you were able to get from it. Like I could ask for a FOIA request and I could hear this is everything that I'm asking a FOIA request, but the return just gave me this. That doesn't mean that I only just asked for what I got returned. Like, so somebody would want to be like, well, let me see what you FOIA'd and ask them, you know? So anyways, the defense, that's an exhibit, is the UPS. And what they were interested though in is the affidavit though, that accompanied it. So it's interesting. And remember it was served upon the one that was in Pullman. So moving on. Next we got, okay. Right here, Payne's IM, so instant messaging communications. So if you think about instant messaging, I'm thinking about what? Facebook instant messaging. I'm thinking about what does Instagram consider? Is that instant messaging? Is it anything that could be instant message? Because Ann Taylor provided what we all thought was like text messages. Remember? Are they just referring to this as like Payne's IM communications? Because it could actually be for what? Like a bunch of different apps. But when I think of instant messaging, I think of Facebook. But I don't know. Great question there. What we're all showing everybody here, and we've been on this channel, is showing everybody that we are well aware that they had the name Brian Koberger way before December 19th. And they were showing that to the judge. And so these are the exhibits that they were using. And so it's interesting. Boom. So whatever you want to think that they were, but next up is the BOLO, the BOLO. Be on the lookout. Now I said, well, which one is it? Is it the public one that we all got, or is it the internal one? Because remember that Payne said that obviously we get one that goes out to the whole freaking world, right? But on the November 25th, they did one to law enforcement to say, hey, be on the lookout for the law enforcement one. That's the one that I think it is. And the reason I think it's that one is because of what it's it's showing the inclusion of whoever it was sent to, right? And then whatever the framework of the email would have said if it was sent out. But the BOLO, I always ask, did that thing even exist internally, or did they just make that up? So, but that's one of the exhibits, was the be on the lookout for the Honda Elantra. And so, is it the one that we all saw, or is it the internal one? Don't know. Next is now this is interesting. The supplemental report 52 by Brett Payne, and it is test runs. And this has to do with, like, as I say, oh my God, Brett Payne did the test runs. Like, wow. Like, I know that he wrote up the supplemental report, which I want to point out to everybody that you start with the number 1 with supplementals. And so here, from the different testimony that we've heard, they did test runs in the beginning of December. Okay. And that would be like, that's when Cyree testified. And he's saying that, like, and they didn't even do the main areas. Remember that? So, and that was like at the beginning of December. And they didn't do like the crime scene area. And the test runs would be like using that device and driving around and testing the area. And so I'm just curious, did Payne just write up a supplemental report, and because he did it with Balance and he was with him? So that was really interesting. But they're using this report clearly for something, to show something, which is, and me saying this report 52, because I want you guys to think about, if I'm right on the date of this report and that this was at the beginning of December, okay, then I think they're using it for a date to say that this is when they started doing the test runs, which have to do with like the UPS, which have to do with the Amazon, like around that date. But if you're doing that, 52 is like your report and you're typing it up, I just want to show you guys what comes next. I'm going to skip a couple. Look at the supplemental report 152 by Officer Gunderson about the dog. You would have known about the dog day 1. Okay. So something that you're writing up a report about, how much time later that it's coming in as report 152, because like people, when they do the reports, they use their notes, right? But if I didn't really take any notes because I used my recorder or my dash cam, right? Or my body cam. And I'm then going to write up a report from watching and listening to, the interview again. They did the same thing in Dr. Moore's case, where Van Leuven, the lead detective, doesn't write up his like day 1 report of like getting there and being debriefed and then briefing people and then doing all this stuff. It's supplemental report 135. Okay. Like, he didn't write up this report until months upon months upon months after the murder. And it's like, I just think, how are you able to keep track of what people are doing if people aren't turning in their reports right away, or at least on some type of like, so that you can get me the information, right? So that I know what's going on and know where to take the investigation to, because the report about the dog, that was day 1. And now clearly whatever they're saying about the dog, you guys, is a problem, because the defense is using the sealed transcripts of the grand jury hearing. Well, those are just in, but here, the supplemental report 152 of Gunderson, then they're using screen clip from Officer Noonan's body cam video of the dog upon arrival. Okay. And those two things, and that's why I have them starred like this, I believe that they clash. I believe that the report of Officer Gunderson clashes with whatever is on video of Noonan's body cam. Okay. What's up, Lloydie? Make sure you guys do me a favor and leave your touch DNA on the thumbs up. I'm doing a double feature here. So next, what do we got here? The return on warrant. And for whatever reason, it just says the return on warrant. I don't know. They probably stipulated to whatever this was, not to leave it like that. AT&T records provided pursuant to search warrant. I think they're using a timestamp. And then Cellbrite report. Let me tell you how big those Cellbrite reports are. I think that's really interesting that that's there. The Cellbrite report is in there. One of the Cellbrite reports that I viewed that was already like in a PDF form was like 30,000 pages. Yeah. Hit that thumbs up for your favorite researcher over here. So let's see what else. These are the exhibits that were used in the Franks again. Department of Justice intern policy. Told you guys the DOJ. This is the intern policy of the IGG. And it's boom, daddy. Like it's the policy basically says Ashley Jennings, AKA Bill Jennings. You guys were calling the shots the whole way. You knew about it. And this is where I want to know, would you strongly consider, if you're the defense attorney here and you're defending this case, when does Ashley Jennings and Bill Thompson truly become witnesses? I mean, they are witnesses to the entire charade of what they did in this case. Okay, they were brought along the whole entire way, but that's also based on policy. Policy, you have to include them. Otherwise, you're not doing things by policy. Ooh, look at this. Letters from the Latah County prosecuting attorney dated 6/24/24 to Othram regarding databases searched. Why are you, letter from Latah County prosecuting attorney dated this date? Wait, what? Do you see this date? You guys are like, that would have been like this past summer, right? June 24th. Thank you so much there. Thank you. Speedy Bird, what's good? 12 months, 1 year, baby. Look at that, though. Letter from the Latah County prosecuting attorney dated. It says it's from them, right? So the prosecutors are acting like, and this is why they're using this. Oh my God, I know what this is about. Holy shit. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Ashley Jennings, you whack. Oh God, you guys. Okay, so check this out. Carson's been a member for 20 months, baby. You guys. Okay, so the defense did not want to show their hand, obviously, to the prosecutors on how we're basically going to come at you with the Franks, right? So the reason that none of this was typed up, okay, and provided, well, duh. Remember, that's why Hitler was like, I need this all typed up. Like, I don't even know what's coming in, blah, 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 blah. Well, yeah, because they don't trust these people. You know what I mean? We're not going to give you a heads up on how we're planning on impeaching the shit out of you guys, right? But what this tells me is Ashley Jennings and company, Bill, they were acting like, why would they be writing on 6/24/24 asking, hey lab, what databases did you guys search? Okay. What databases did you guys search? when here, I'm sorry, but based on the DOJ policy, which is right up above it, is you're involved in the whole entire thing. Like, why wouldn't you just email the people that you're working with? What do you mean? Hey, what databases did you guys, So it looks like to me, is it because Ashley Jennings and Bill Jennings were trying to act like they didn't know what was going on? Wouldn't you just, I don't know, email somebody? It's 2025. I don't get it. Anyways, though, super interesting. This is just like, God, this is so amazing to see this. Dear Othram, I'm just curious, what databases did you guys search? And remember now you kind of have them on like the whole thing, which is, well, Othram didn't do anything. Remember, like we told him to shut it down and they just shipped it right to the FBI. So it didn't even get worked on there. No one did anything there. So does that kind of contradict that as well? Remember Santa like flipping out all red, like, think about that. Yeah, give a quick prayer at some point if you're for a praying person. My buddy over there, Daniel at Drunk Turkey, he had a horrible accident, and I've been talking with him like messages and stuff, but his arm just got totally dog, and he sent me the pictures, and so just keep him and his family in your prayers. But yeah, I can't even. Like I said, me and Daniel, we were always totally opposite on cases, but that doesn't mean that you're not cool with somebody. So anybody that thinks that's wild, think about all the things that you disagree with your spouse with. Speaking of which, if you guys want to hear a good testimony that's coming up, is Cy Ray is going to be testifying in the Swingers case. I'm going to cover it. Gotta love a good swinger. Figure that Jennifer Drake will get a membership to watch it on that as well. So I'll take the edge off right there, make you guys laugh a little bit. So let's see. We got the transcripts here, though, from the motion to compel hearing. So the same thing that they were bringing up earlier on the other page. Then, here we go. Shoe print outside of Dylan Morton's room. Clearly, they're going to show that this shoe print is either A, half a shoe, B, which way it's going, how it's going, that the size of it, they would have known that it's the size of that shoe print is like they're using this in a Frank's. So clearly this shoe print here, it's not Brian's. Next up here, Defendants Exhibit D23, which is the transcript of. So what this is this is an interview. Oh my gosh. Oh, look at that. So this means this is an interview, and the people that normally write like this and have their files like this with their files and the way that they do their AV, that's exactly how I saw it when I did and watched Idaho State Police. So just, and we got a date there, 12/30/2022. Remember we were talking about each other. We're like, when do we think Dylan Mortensen had these interviews? Okay. You guys, this is like a boom right here. This is boom. Okay. Transcript of Mortensen interview, 12/30/2022. Why are they interviewing Dylan Mortensen? the day before she's about to ring in the new year. He's getting arrested, right? And now we're interviewing Dylan Mortensen. This is file 88. So before, just want to also point this out to everybody. Before you get to 88, you got to get through recordings 1 through 87. Okay? And so 1 through 87, these recordings, the transcript of audio video. So that's what that is. File 88. So they only have, if we want to use our brains here, up until that point, are you sitting here telling me that up until December 30th, 2022, so you have the murders happened November 12th, November 13th, and we get to December 30th, and you said that you performed over 250 interviews, right? Well, 88 here. Is this because A, you only recorded 88 of them? B, Idaho State Police up to that point only did 88 because, the feds have their running tally, and then Moscow Police Department has theirs. Okay, so there's different ways to look at this. But I thought it was really, really interesting to look at the number that they were on for this case. Because it's not like you're going to be like, oh, the person that was interviewed before that had number 322. Just so you guys know that. That's not how it is. So I'm just curious. But Dylan Mortensen was interviewed. And clearly, I believe it's one of two things. Did the police think at all that Dylan was involved? Hey, we got your buddy. We arrested him. You know what I mean? That type of thing where you're just like, hey, this guy said who else to be arrested. And he, I want to know why. Think about this. It's included in Frank's because, or is it, at that point, what do you need to talk to Dylan Mortensen about? Dylan Mortensen already gave you everything that you put in the affidavit, right? So let's truly, if you want to think about this, let's use our brains. And if I'm a detective, why in the world would I say, hey, we're planning on interviewing Dylan right after this, and what are we going to do because we think that she's involved? Like, what do we need to get out of her? We need to show her a picture of him? No, we would have already showed him a picture because that's how Idaho State Police work. Like, they showed a picture of Dr. Moore to Isaac Funderburg August 24th or 20th. Like, it was like the week before they arrested Dr. Moore, or at least brought him in. It was. So clearly whatever was going on 12/30/2022, and you would think all this time that passed, right, is Dylan in there with an attorney, right? So that's my second thing is Dylan in there with an attorney? And you did, yes, of course she's in there with an attorney. If she's not, I would be shocked. Okay. Did the interview only last 3 minutes because her and her attorney showed up, and her attorney, they all sat down and they asked a question, and her attorney said, this is over. Don't say anything. We're leaving. Okay. And now go back and think about what they tried to say that Brian Koberger said when he was arrested. Who else was arrested, right? Think about it. They told the whole world that, remember? Remember, they told the whole world that. It means Dylan heard that too. That was reported, Brian Etten, and it went viral, right? Go back and check and see if that's available to see when it came out. And sometimes the media will act as if, to help the police, like, hey, put this out because we need to see if it'll shake some people down. If it'll make some people be like, like give it some gusto, leak this to them, and then we're going to go ahead and bring her in, line up, put him in a lineup. This is an interview. It would say something completely different. This is an interview. Do we think that it was a phone interview? I think it may be a phone interview. Idaho State Police is notorious for just calling people up like Jennifer Drake and asking her questions, Hey, have you seen the news? Is that the guy you saw? Hey, have you seen the news? Oh, did you see the news? Like, I'm just thinking about what this could possibly be. But Dylan, it doesn't say where's Bethany. Dylan's brought in. Hey, did you see the news? Is that I told you we got that motherfucker. I told you you guys are safe now. You have nothing to worry about. You know what I'm saying? I just wanted to call and let you know you're safe now. You have nothing to worry about. We got the bastard. I think this is hilarious to me because this is clearly incriminating of these officers and whatever the fuck happened in this, Then the next one here, this is D24. Order on defendant's fourth and fifth motions to compel discovery unredacted. The order. Oh yeah, I'm gonna be talking about this in a different live. That's gonna come up in a different live. Now we get into these lab reports. Defendant's exhibit. So lab report 28, lab report 29, lab report 30. Clearly it's from the lab, right? Let's make this brighter. No, not as bright. There we go. Let me just do this too. What did I just do there? Messing around. Okay. There we go. That should help. Next up, sealed letters between Layton County Prosecutor's Office and the FBI. The FBI. And there she is. Give it up for Bill Jennings and the FBI. Sealed letters dated 11/28/2023 from the FBI to Layton County Prosecuting Attorney. They don't put a date here, but so right there. So that'd be like a year after, the murders, and then, but the sealed letters between, this is letters is plural, okay? And clearly it's helping. They're using them against, poor Bill Jennings. Ooh. We got Syray Cases. We got somebody's last name, CV. Syray's CV. Ooh, messaging with pain. Now, this has been redacted. So, messaging with pain, I'm guessing it's a witness. Okay. Because if it was balanced, we've already talked about that in an open court. So were there messaging with pain? Were there messages between Dylan or Bethany with pain? Who's mess? Damn it, Payne. Maybe it's the FBI. Who knows? But they already mentioned balance. Ann Taylor showed those and said, do you recognize these? It could be. Curious if it was with a witness. Next up is lab report 12723. FBI fibers, hair, no connection. Oh my God, there's hair there? What? The FBI had hair, no connection. Oh, look out. Lab report dated 127. So if there was a trial, though, in October of 2023, I find it, and who was there from the FBI that took the fibers? That was WSU. To say that the FBI fibers hair, that there was no connection. I don't know. I believe that the FBI was looking maybe at Dana Smithers. And so there was no connection on any of Brian's shit with any of these people so he could be like a serial killer or something, because that's what they were thinking. I don't know. I'm live. Annie Potts, I'm live. What are you calling me for? Maybe I'll just pick up the phone. Annie, how can I help you? We'll just talk to her. Let her know. Hopefully let's see here. Hey, I'm live right now. You want to say hi?
I am so sorry. I didn't mean to call you while you were live.
Oh, did you just get done having sex?
No, I just saw your text messages. I was cleaning the shit out of my house.
I just had to say that because I wanted to break the ice, Anyways.
Yeah, no, definitely not that. I was cleaning my house and felt like kakafui, and we're going to go grab dinner.
Okay. All right. Well, you just go grab dinner. I'm going to go grab dinner too. So I'm glad. Hey, so I'm going to cover a little bit of this swinger trial. Just wanted to tell you about it. So if you can start looking into the words, because Bella has informed me that I need to get up to date with my swinger technology or my vocabulary. And do you know what's it called? What is it? A soft swap?
Yes.
Do you know what a soft swap is?
You got it wrong, FYI.
I know people. This is like proof that I'm not a swinger because I don't even know what a soft swap is. So, but I've been studying. Cy-Ray is the cell guy in that. So,
I told you to look at it.
So take a look at it. I'll just start looking into your swinger terminology. It'll help you out for some of the coverage. But yeah, I'll call you. Call me after dinner, or I'll call you. I'm gonna go back to my live here. Thanks so much, Annie. Appreciate you. Love that woman. Good to know. Cy-Ray, the cell guy in a swinger investigation. Look him up. Anyways, back to Idaho4 here. Gonna close this out. Wanted to keep it right around an hour and 10. So we're right on track. Perfect. Let me make this a little bigger for you. And so we have lab reports, like I just said, the FBI fibers, hair, no connection. Then we have the lab report 228. So then a month later, FBI hair, no connection. Biology, I can't even read this. Oh, the notes, the photos, negative blood. Ooh, daddy. Wow. So basically this is all being used in a Frank's, right? Because all of this is showing that all of this stuff, none of it comes back to our client. And we believe that the sheath was planted. We believe that somebody framed him. That's what this is leading towards, right? Take a look. That's what more or less like, you know, oh my God, somebody just answered what a soft swap is. It's just a touchy-feely kind of pre-run.
Yeah. It's just no intercourse.
It's just no intercourse, yeah.
But everything.
But it
else-
is so you can have oral sex?
Yes. It's
Okay.
Oral, but just no intercourse, and you're all in the same room. So the couples are in the same room,
Okay.
but
Don't you think that'd be a great case to like what you'd want to watch that type of a case though? Like I think it's interesting. So we are only interested in hard swaps. So if you guys are trying to like swing, let me know. We are
they
only
have hard swaps.
only hard swappers.
Obviously, Lana knows nothing about swapping.
I know nothing about this stuff. That's why
Don't let her fool you.
you guys, I wouldn't even know. I'd be swiping the wrong way, and I'd be signing us up for twizzle,
What?
twizzle nizzles. Who knows? I don't even know. I don't even know. Soft, hard. What else? What other kind of swaps can you have?
That's what it is.
It's just soft or hard.
Well, there was that weird one where it's like, maybe we can negotiate some things. And
We can negotiate our
Yeah.
swaps.
no, they all negotiate. That's what they do.
Prehand.
Yes. Like you go on a date and then I've been researching this whole time. Like you're over here like telling me not to do it, and I'm over here researching. Yes. But the negotiation went like this. I would like for you guys to come and watch me undress, and then please leave so me and my husband can have sex. And they were like, wait, what?
Wait, what is right? We could just do that on FaceTime, ho. Like I don't need to drive over there. Dead ass. Wow. Okay. You guys learn something new every time you go over here, okay? All right. So oh God. Here.
Negotiate, babe.
Okay. Then we got the DNA 12323, ISP forensics. Interview with Dylan Mortensen again, 11/17. Interview with Dylan Mortensen, 12/1. You know, FBI Special Agent Hill report regarding video surveillance. Screenshot. Oh my God, screenshot from Mitch Noonan's body cam on 11/13/22 at 12:04 and it's a screenshot of his body cam. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. What time is it at? Oh God, it's going to be a screenshot of what? It's a screenshot of the fucking sheath area. Oh my God. There was no sheath there. Oh, fuck shit whore. I got to go. You guys, what do you think? What do you think? Screenshot from Mitch Noonan's body camera on 11/13/2023 at 12:04 and 55 seconds. Holy shit. Oh my. Becky. Holy crap. What is this screenshot? There it is, you guys. ISP forensic biology. Oh my goodness. Jeez. I think that these other reports with the biology, with the blood and stuff, I think that's from the other, we have these samples. We got people's blood in the house. And then there's this sheath that is clearly not there. I mean, what would this screenshot be right here? That's all that anybody should give a shit about right now is screenshot from Mitch Noonan's, who is the first responder's body cam at 12:04 and 55 seconds. So he had his body cam on, he probably had his weapons drawn, right? Going in places. But remember, they were called at 11:58, right? They report or what, I mean, whatever they like I did. I examined those body cameras on those people. Oh, I even think the call was at 11:56 and they arrived at 11:58. You know, it's right down the street. What do you guys think? What do you think? It was the dog? I don't think it's the dog. We already have the clips of the dog up here. Okay. I believe that I'm interested in this ISP Forensic Biology Report 33 dated on 5/23/2023 because that had been right before or right after they did the they waited to show that there was 3 other fucking blood samples. And so they didn't have to turn it over to the grand jury. What a bunch of 127, 2023. FBI fibers hair, no connection. Yeah, that has to do with earlier stuff, in my opinion. So again, I think that 12:04 and 55 seconds. Whoo-wee. What do you guys think? Oh, thank you. Michelle Davis. Dear Lana, dear Lord, Lana, you are so freaking hilarious. You crack me up. You would be the funniest person to hang out with. Yep. The stuff that comes out of my mouth when we're in public is even worse. In fact, tonight, right now, I have a double. So I have you guys for a double date tonight. We're going soft swap. So I'll be back here at like 9. We're going to go have dinner with our swinger friends. Just kidding. Yeah. Actually, who knows? Maybe they are swingers.
Tell them how you can tell.
Oh, if somebody was wearing a black ring on the right hand, they're a swinger. I learned that today. So,
So anyone that does that for a fashion statement?
yeah. Yeah, so get rid of your black bands, I guess. I don't know.
Unless you're a swinger.
Unless you're a swinger. I know a lot of people that wear black bands.
On the right hand?
Can it be on any ring finger? No.
No.
I mean, I loved black rings.
I know.
Now it gives me like some type of complex.
Thank God.
I really want, like, I have tons of black rings.
Yeah, did you ever wear it on your right hand?
Is
Does
this,
anyone come up to you and wink?
I don't remember.
They do this thing called what?
Yeah, 12:04 had to be as soon as he got there, in my opinion, says Dreamer. You know, why do I recall though? I mean, literally, it only takes if you pull up and you run in. I mean, you can get into the house, go up to the house, go into the house. Or it could be a knife that's laying out. You know what I mean? That has blood on it. It's clearly interesting. My daughter thinks, oh, there we go. Good. There we go. I personally think that would be a really good selling point, though, to the judge if you're saying, hey, this is where they think that they saw this sheath, and based off of this guy's body cam, that sheath isn't there. You know, I don't know. Whatever it is, think about this, though. It's for Frank's, okay? So it's for Frank's. So whatever this is, and they froze it. Let me think. Did they timestamp the last one? Yeah, screen clip from Officer Noonan's body cam video of the dog upon arrival. See, you guys, I'm telling you, it's not about the dog. The dog, it's not about the dog. This one, though, very specific with the timestamp. You know, I would have really appreciated it if the defense team would have put the timestamp of the arrival on that first one. It would have really helped me out here. So, anyways. So, but you guys rock. Do me a favor. It's really, really big in my opinion. They're making it a big deal with there's more that I'm going to cover later. So join me at 9. Okay, because we're going to talk about these other exhibits. But Dylan Mortensen, 11/17. Where's Dylan Mortensen's 11? Remember how they were like somebody had interviewed her on 11/13? Where's that one? It gives me kind of vibes that is interview 11/17, interview 12/1, interview 12/30. I know for a fact Ann said that they talked to her the day. I mean, 11/17 works really with the Idaho State Police. They like to interview people 4 days later, you know. So, but we have a lot more to cover here tonight. And if you want to join me back at 9, I really wanted to put it out there though. Vicky would love to hear from you. Here's that last clip one more time. So this is Vicky.
Day and dinner that night. I really want to do that. I came back, but her emotions are driving her car, and your logic and reasoning have no seat in that car. So I'm very factual. Logic and reasoning is what drives me. I try not to let emotions drive me, because when people are highly emotional, there's nothing you can say that's going to change how they feel until they come off of that emotion. So they don't even want you in the car. So I don't believe in bringing
Oh, wait, let
emotion
me,
and all that.
hey, hold on. Yep, hold on there. Heather makes a good point there. And I didn't see that. These are okay. So state, interview with Dylan Mortensen. State's exhibit, interview with Dylan Mortensen. So they're using the 11/17 one and the 12/1. FBI S.A. Hills report regarding video surveillance. State's exhibit S4. Screenshot from Mitch Noonan's body camera on 11/13/2022 at 12:04 and 55 seconds. ISP forensic biology report 33 dated this time. So it could be also a screen grab to show that the sheath was already there as well, you know. So take a look at that. It would be way bigger if it was showing that it wasn't there, okay? But it would be way. You still have the 9 hours that which it could have got there. Why aren't they putting the other? So the state only rolled with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 exhibits. So I need to correct that. State exhibit S1 was the interview with Dylan. State exhibit interview with Dylan on 12/1. Interesting that they didn't put the 11/13 one. FBI regarding the video surveillance. Screenshot from Mitch Noonan's body camera. And so that I totally believe now that would lead me to believe. Well, if Ann Taylor had to get the exhibits over to the state because it's technically their motion. So if she had to give them a list of this prior to, she just had to give them a list of the witnesses. There was no list of exhibits that had to be exchanged before the hearing. I'll double check on that. So
that has no relevance to getting to the answer of who did this to this person and giving closure to families. So I try not to allow how I feel to influence what I do. I could feel bad. We could feel bad all day long. We'd be at home right now doing origami. But I don't really want to do that. I came back for a reason. People think I came back for, like, I made a joke of this, okay, just recently. I am married. I've been married going on 29 years. I'm working a cold case DNA genealogy team on the sex crimes and the homicides. I really enjoy it. I want to get an answer. I want to answer the who all these years later that have eluded us. Even from the best of police work, we haven't gotten the answer, right? And I was home one day at 3 o'clock, which is unusual. And I'm making my husband's lunch for his next work day, thinking what should be for dinner. I'm like, why the hell am I doing this? That is just not in my DNA. It is not. Most people, they look forward to that. My husband can't retire. He still has 9 years of work. There's no point in going home trying to sort out what I should make him for lunch for the next day and dinner that night. It's not in my DNA, so I came back. I already knew I was coming back. It wasn't like I was there and decided to come back. The cards were already lined out that I was coming back on the genealogy team. I'd been on the team for 3 years and we got the grant money. So when I retired, I knew I was transitioning to the granted position under a contract. But I was at home going, I don't know how do they do that?
All right, there you have it. Vicky on the genealogy team. Vicky, have a great night. We'll see everybody back here at 9 for your double feature. Cheers. Okay. They all knew about it.
We're not here to talk about the alcohol stuff, okay?
Okay, yeah.
But this is the second noise complaint we've had here tonight within 2 hours.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. Is this your place?
Yeah.
Perfect. You know why we're here?
I see noise.
Noise, yeah.
Yeah.
Big speaker right there.
Yeah.
Nothing against having a party. Once neighbors start calling in, then we have an issue.
Like brains, and like if you need a lot of brains, you're gonna be in trouble.